Hello and welcome to the MyHeritage webinar series. I'm Jeff Rasmussen, your host, broadcasting to you live from Middleton, Idaho. Today we have MyHeritage's Uri Gonen with us, who is live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, to talk to us about the new family tree and relationship diagram at MyHeritage. I've been playing around with this relationship diagram, and it's really neat. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So thanks to Uri, and thanks to the more than 1,500 of you for registering for today's live webinar. And wherever and whenever you are, glad to have you with us. And now I'm pleased to introduce our speaker, Uri Gonen. Uri has been working at MyHeritage since 2005, where he took on different challenges and roles in product development and product management. He has been part of the wild journey of MyHeritage, from a small startup to a dominant company in the genealogy space. Among his involvement in key projects of the company, Uri was the original developer behind Family Tree Builder and the product manager of MyHeritage's genealogy search engine. Recently, he was involved in several genealogical projects such as Pedigree Map, Pedigree View, Tree Consistency Checker, and several integrations with Family Search. Before joining MyHeritage, Uri has worked in other software startups in Israel, the United States, and Canada. He now lives and works in Toronto, Canada. Please put together your virtual hands and let's give Uri Gonen a nice warm webinar welcome. Hi, Uri, and welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Jeff, and thanks for having me again.
Always nice to have you, and always nice to learn a little bit more about our MyHeritage. So it looks good, Uri, and the time's all yours.
Okay, hi everyone. As Jeff said, I'm going to talk about the most important piece of our website, which is the family tree. Recently, we have updated it a few weeks ago. It went live to everyone. The main changes that we have introduced in the family tree are we updated the style to be more consistent with everything else that we have on our website. But we also improved the usability. We added some key tools and abilities that I think will make your life easier. So let's dive in. When you go to the MyHeritage website, and you can build yourself a family tree, it's all for free. There are some features that are behind a subscription, but building a family tree, a basic family tree, is free and everybody can do it. You get to it from the menu, clicking on family tree. You get to your tree, which is here, and you can start building it. I have a tree already of myself and my family. As you can see here, it already has 1,488 people. I should probably enlarge it, but I'm busy writing tools and managing products, so I don't have enough time for that. Here I am in the tree, my children, my brothers, their children, my grandparents, and so on. You can see as it goes up and to the side for different areas in the tree. I can navigate the tree with the mouse, up and down, and so on. I can also zoom in and out with the plus and minus. And I can also use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out as well. So this is the basic tree. Now it says that it shows me only 108 people right now in the tree, because there's a lot of people that are not right now shown in the view because it's a very large tree. And you can see that those little trees above people show you that there is more to see over there. So for example, here I'm going to my wife, and you can see that there's a whole branch of her tree, her parents, her brothers, and so on, and that family. So if I click here on this part, you can see that now it shows me a completely different view of the tree. I am here, and my family that was there before is now hidden, and now we can see her tree. So now I am showing you 60 people out of that large number. It's a different view. So this is the main way to navigate the tree, by clicking on branches of people, and it shows me here that now I am looking at my wife's tree, and I can go back using those breadcrumbs to myself. So this way I can start navigating the tree and getting to all the people that are there. Another important thing, of course, that we want you to do, and you want to make it easier for you to do, is to add people to the tree. Again, all of this was already in MyHeritage family tree for years. The only thing we changed recently in that perspective is the design and the look of these features. But I'll just go over them again to make it easy to understand what people can do in the tree. So the main action that we think people will want to do is to start adding missing parents. So if I learned the name and information about this person's father, I can click here, add father, and I can start entering information. Whatever I have is good, and enter OK, and that will create a new person in the tree in that slot. So this is for adding parents. Of course, there's other ways to add children and siblings as well, which is done through the plus button below a person. I should probably close my email, but I haven't done that. So for example, if I want to add another child to a person, I can go to that person, click on the plus add relative button, and then it opens this menu, looks like a spider, where I can say, okay, add a son, add a daughter, brother, sister, or add another spouse. In the case here, this person already has parents, so we're not offering you to add another parent because it's not possible, really. Once you have already entered information about a person, you can always edit it by clicking on this pencil, the quick edit. It opens the existing information about this person, where you can go and add more information, change any information that you found is incorrect, and so on. This is just a quick edit of the main information about the person, but there's a lot more information that can be added, not through this pop-up. Click on this edit more, and it will bring us to a full page of this person's information where I can add other facts, and I can add notes and sources and things of that nature. Another thing that we can see here is that there is a little disc here with wedding rings in this case, and that is because my brother's anniversary was 5 days ago. So it reminds me that maybe I can congratulate him, send a gift, send a greeting. So we have for anniversaries, and we also have for birthdays. Interestingly enough, my other brother had a birthday 7 days ago. He turned 50. So that's another indication here that reminds me that there are birthdays and anniversaries. Again, this all existed before, just in a different style. Another important thing that we have here on these cards is these little purple, green, and blue and brown icons. This is one of the most important things that MyHeritage brings you as a member, is matches. These are indication of matches. So these are links to other people who are related to that person. So if the person has taken a DNA test, which is the magenta icon, it'll give you other people that are related to, in this case, my father, through DNA. We're not going into that today, but that's a whole interesting and important part of the MyHeritage offering. The other ones are the green. The green are other people, other profiles in other trees of other MyHeritage members of the same person. And brown, record matches, is other records of this person, either in public records such as censuses and newspapers and birth records and so on, or on family trees outside of MyHeritage. So that is mostly the Genie family tree, which is another product of MyHeritage, or the family search family tree, which we have a good collaboration with. So these are those things. So this is things that were already there. I'm just going over that to kind of set the groundwork for what is a family tree and what you can do on MyHeritage. As you can see here, when a person is selected in the tree, On the left, we see more information about this person. If I click here, my great-grandfather, we will see information over here about my great-grandfather. You can see who they are, an explanation of their relationship, more information about where and when they were born and died. The edit we've seen before, and there's other options that we'll go here into more. So we can delete this person if this person, we don't want them in the tree anymore. And we can also do things like connect and remove connection, which is a tool that we provide in the case where you have people that are connected to the tree in more than one way. For example, cousins who have married, and so on. So this is a way to take two existing people and to connect them in another way into the tree. Here again, we can see a better explanation of what these icons are, that there is one smart match, which is the matches to other trees, and one record match, which is a match to records outside of MyHeritage. And another thing that we added here is the consistency checker indication that this person, and we have a tool that checks for throughout the tree, but you can see what it tells us here. If I click, it tells us that this person's death place is written in a way that is not consistent with another way that is more commonly spelled in one type of consistency issue, but there's other ones such as they are marked as born after they died, and so on. So these are either more severe issues that we can find with a consistency issue. Then we can see photos of this person. And in the case where, in my case situation here, there's a lot of photos. So you can see some of them and then click here to see all of the photos. Oh, another thing that I haven't mentioned, of course, that if I have a person that I don't have a photo of yet, I can click here on the camera to add a photo that I have on my computer and mark them there, and now they will have a photo as well. But as I mentioned here, there's also a biography section where I can add notes and then facts. So some of the facts I can add through the edit, birth and death, but I can add additional facts here. And I can see here also facts of their family, relatives, their children. But I can add here things like occupation and immigration and other facts that I want to record about a person. Another thing that I wanted to show about the tree is right now it shows what we call 5 generation plus. So you can see that we see quite a lot of generations, and it makes the tree quite wide because it tries to fit a lot of people, and it's sometimes hard to navigate, especially when you have a large tree. So clicking on generations here allows me to condense the tree. And let's say I'll go all the way and put here 1, and you can see that I have a much smaller tree now, focusing exactly on my immediate relatives, 1. And so if before some of those people were far away and hard to find, this will make it really easy to kind of see what's going on here. Here's 2 generations. So now my grandparents are very close to me visually. When I went to 5+, because of all of the brothers and sisters and their children and cousins and so on, my grandparents are here all lost, and it's sometimes hard to understand what's going on. So this is a good, quick tool for doing that. Another thing that we added to this tool is the ability to hide cousins altogether and their families. So we can see here in this tree, this is me, this is my mother, her brothers, and their children. These are all my cousins and their children, which makes the tree quite large. And sometimes you're not interested in cousins, so that'll make the tree a lot more compact. And you can see now if I click this, now I see my uncles, those 3, but not their children, which are my cousins. So it makes the tree much smaller. and easier to understand. So this is something new that we added recently. There's a lot of settings that you can play here with. And in fact, probably in the next few days, we will add a few more options that will allow you to style the tree more like it used to be in the past, because we've gotten some feedback of people who really like the previous colors and some of the features that are there. And we're listening and adding some of those options to here so you can make it look the way it used to before. Let's close this. Okay, so this is the tree that we have here. Let's see what else I wanted to show. We also have what we call discoveries. So sometimes a person is not in the tree, let's say this person's father, but using matches that we have to other tree, we can instantly add that person and a branch of that family by just clicking here and reviewing the information, and it will, once you accept it, it will immediately add a whole section here to the tree based on what other people have recorded about this person. So this is an interesting thing. One of the options that I actually do want to look at here is what we call vertical cards. This is also a new feature that if you click here on vertical cards, you will now see the tree in this mode, which you might also see in some software, of genealogical software and other websites. We decided to also incorporate that. Again, this would make the tree, because of the layout of the cards, it will make it taller but less wide, because we know that navigating left and right is harder, and we wanted to make it easy to get to this layout as well. And some people like this, and we give more options now to make things look the way you want it. Another interesting thing to show here is talking about the attach, connect, and reconnect people. So in fact, I have this situation in the tree, and you can see here this X2. You can see that this person here and this person here is actually the same. And that is because you have this person who has married his niece, and therefore he appears twice in the tree. So this is an interesting thing. This is what these things say. What else do we want to say? This is pretty much about the tree. So it's very similar to what it used to be. It's just that the look has changed. Some of the tools that we showed here, the generations, are easier to use. And some of the things that we're showing here, for example, immediate family, we did not show before, and now we're showing that in the left panel, what we call. So minor changes, look around and see what's new. But the most important thing that also Jeff mentioned before that we added here as a tool is the relationship diagram. So I'm looking at the tree here. Let's say I'm looking somewhere in this area, for example. This is a son of my cousin. But in any time I'm seeing here a relationship, it will now be underlined, like dashed underline, which means that you can now click this relationship to see an explanation of what this relationship is and how exactly are we related. Here in this case, this person is in the tree. I can understand how they're related to me, so it's somewhat beneficial, but less. But I'll show you in a bit how even more beneficial this can be. Clicking here will open up a little pop-up that says you and Harel, this is how you guys are related. Your mother's brother's son, his son. And these are the parents of my mother and her brother here. So this is a quick way to orient a person and understand how they're related to me. In this case, son's cousin is not that important. I'll show you some other examples in a bit. Another thing you can do here is reverse the order. by clicking on these two arrows. And now it shows how I am related to this person, just basically flipping the diagram. Another thing that you can do, hopefully this works because we've been having a bug in the past few days where sometimes this doesn't work. Let's hear exactly what I said. But this basically opens the same diagram as a PDF, and you can then download it and print it. So we're going to fix this issue hopefully in the next few days. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, from my experience. Let's see. If I look at somebody else, magically it would work. Yeah, it seems to be not working right now. Apologize for that. So this is the relationship here. Of course, just to mention, the family view is only one of 4 views that we have for the family tree. This is the most common one that most people work in. There's also a pedigree view that focuses on one person and only their ancestors. So if I look at myself here, I can see myself, my parents, grandparents, and so on only. And everything that we saw here in this navigation is the same. So again, if I select somebody here, you can look at their relationship. In the case of a pedigree tree, it's pretty obvious. We have the fan view, which shows you basically this view, but as a colorful fan, and also the list view, which basically shows all the 1,488 people as a list, sorted by default by their relationship to me. I can change the sort order, I can filter, I can search, I can find people. And here is actually an example even more of how this tool that we were looking at is beneficial. If I go down the list to the people who are farther and farther away from me, actually let's go to the last page. So here we have people that are quite far away from me. Let's select one. Let's see which one. A lot of them are in Hebrew, you can see here. Here, let's look at this guy here. So this is interesting. There's a half-brother relationship. Let's see what happens. So this explains to me how she is my great-grandmother's half-brother's daughter. Okay, my mother's father's mother, her half-brother, because they share a father but not the same mother, this person's daughter. So this is how I am related to her. And that it really explains to me, because great-grandmother's half-brother's daughter is too vague, and there could be many ways that where exactly is she in the tree. So this is, I think, really explains the power of this little tool. So this is all of the relationship diagram and family tree, but I think the real power of the relationship diagram in MyHeritage actually comes from other places where we mention a person. Let's say we found a match about this person, we send you an email, or you find it through here. Let's look at this. So discoveries is basically the section of MyHeritage that shows you all of your smart matches and record matches, those green and brown icons that we saw before. It all goes to here. So here it basically shows me all of my, I look at here at all matches, all the people that have matches, be it record matches or smart matches, and it orders them according to some way here, which I can also change, but that's a different topic of discussion. But what I wanted to show you here, the first person that is offered is somebody who I don't really know who they are. And it explains to me wife, second cousins, father-in-law's cousins, ex-husband, grandfather. That's great, but could be very cryptic. So I'm clicking here, and let's see what happens. Sometimes this is the same issue that we have with the print. I think if I do that again, it should work, or not. Let's look at another person here. Right, that's just this one. So here it explains to me mother-in-law's uncle, which kind of uncle of which, through which way. So this really explains to you well who this person is. Should I go and look at their matches? Are they interesting? And immediately I understand who this person is. Okay, if I go into that particular entry where I see all those 5 matches, again, from here, I'll be able to look at this diagram. And again, we have some issues lately with some of the connections. Could be my connection here. And also if I'm looking at a particular match, and again, all the places where you now see a relationship with dashed underline, it means that you can click and see the diagram that explains how I'm related to this person. So this is where it's most helpful. Another place that we added those relationship diagrams is in photos. So people are tagged in photos, right? These are from photos that I have. I want to go into a particular interesting photo that I thought of here. A nice photo of lots of people. It's being also enhanced using our tools. This is very nice. But I can see that these people were already tagged in the photo. And this person is my great uncle and grandfather's aunt and so on and so on. So I want to understand who is this Nathan's grandfather's cousin. How exactly is that? So I click and it again here explains to me it's my father's 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 brother's son. And this is exactly how it looks like. Another interesting point to see here is this is not just, it's a list of the people, but each one, if I hover over, there is a few actions that I can do. I can go and look at the family tree that we saw before, focused on that person. I can go and see their full profile that shows all the information that I have about them. And I can research this person, which will go to our search engine, MyHeritage genealogy search, the research section, and look for records about this person on MyHeritage. So these are the things you can do from here. So this is about the relationship diagram that we added. If anybody knows, there is already a section today in MyHeritage, in the family tree section, called Relationship Report, which is basically the same thing. And this also shows a diagram, but it shows you you can see the style here is quite ancient. Our plan in the next few months is to upgrade what you see here to the look and feel and functionality that you saw in those pop-ups. So now you will be able to go here in the same way that you can do here, enter from who to whom, and display that diagram that we saw before instead of this, and also with an option to see more information or less information, and there will be a way to share and to print and a few other options that we didn't see in the pop-up version. But that's kind of the plan going forward pretty soon. Yeah, I think I'm about done explaining the family tree.
Thank you, Uri. Can I show you my favorite one on my screen?
Sure.
I love this. All right, let me hit show my screen. Now, I've been researching all of the descendants of one of my ancestors, and I'm looking at Henry Donnerberg, and I love how you've described that he is another husband of your direct ancestors' half-brother's great-grandson's wife. And so how in the world do you understand? Can I visualize that? Well, I can now if I click on that. Oh, and it's doing this to me too, but it did pull it up.
In the last name.
It pulled it up for me.
Yeah, try again. It might work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Look at this.
Sometimes there's some sort of timeout that happens.
So here I am over way down here. He's all the way over here, but as it's easy to understand as I go up, and then he's got a half brother. Then we go down, who had a wife who had a second husband, and so so that it's just incredible, and how quickly it is calculated or displayed. It's very nice. Just
Yeah.
curious. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work
Yeah,
out for
this
me
is
either.
something that unfortunately the presentation happened exactly when this thing
Yeah,
happened.
that's okay. But yeah, I love this. So very well done, and I had no idea that you had put that in other places, like in the photos. I think that's the best
Mhm.
place where you've got people
Yeah.
tagged and it's easy to see how they're related to you. So I was thinking, Uri, how this is kind of like my birthday today, even though it's not. I'm getting new toys here in MyHeritage without even having asked for them. So all of this is included at no extra charge with our memberships, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So you're always working in the background, and boy, I love having you live here because we get to see things that people haven't seen before or that we haven't yet discovered. So, yeah, very well done. For the person who asked about the list view, that's found just right up here. So click
Hmm.
there. One of my favorite toys or tools that Uri has taught in the past is I can export this list, and I'm guessing now I don't remember. How do I export this list? I think
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
a
it's from there. Yeah, just no, do that, but just go down a bit there. There's a scroll bar
down.
at the bottom.
Yeah, here we are.
Exactly.
So there's
Yeah.
export, everybody, and that will export this list in a format that I can open up in a spreadsheet, and then I can do whatever else I would want to do with that. So,
Hmm.
well, Uri, are you up for taking some questions then?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move into our questions time. We'll do some door prizes in just a little bit, so stick around for that, everyone. All right, so questions. Uri, the question that's been asked most often here is there's people that are researching two sets of parents, meaning an adoptive set of parents and a biological set of parents. Does this tree view have a way to be able to research both of those?
Yes, this is actually something that we heard a lot, and we are planning to improve as one of the next phases of the
Oh, really?
family tree. Yeah. So at this point, yes, we do have an issue where once you have a set of parents to a person, it's not really possible to connect another set of parents as
Okay.
adoptive versus biological, foster, and so on.
Okay.
So it's tricky to do that today. The only way you can do that today is through Family Tree Builder, which is the Windows software. It also works on Mac, of course. That does allow you to do that.
Okay.
And if you do that and you look at the tree online, you will be able, because it synchronizes to your site, you will be able to see multiple parents. Um,
Good.
and if that's true, you will actually see them here as well. You will see that the person has multiple parents.
Okay.
You know what? Let me actually see if I can bring out, while you're talking, I'll
Yeah.
see if I actually have this example somewhere.
Okay. While you're looking there, I'm going to try to answer Linda's question. Linda says, can I show more than 5 generations?" Well, it's right here is where Uri was talking about it, selecting the number of generations, and it looks like it goes to 5 plus. So if I go all the way
Yeah.
out to 5 plus, I imagine that it will show as many as is possible, even beyond 5. And if I need to go beyond 5, just see the little Uri called them branches. So you just click on that, and that will expand that out further. So, Linda, I hope that helps. Lots of comments about loving the relationship diagrams. I know, I totally agree with all of that.
Jeff, if you can let me share my screen, I'll show you an example of how this is done.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, again, this is an example of a tree that was created on Family Tree Builder, because that's where you can actually create two sets of parents.
Okay.
Not yet here, but that's one of the next things we're going to work on. So I have a person here, Jonathan. Let's say this is just an example tree. It's not a real tree. And he has Kyle and Olga as his parents. But if I select this person, I can see on the right on the left in the immediate section that there is biological parents, Kyle and Olga in this case, and adoptive parents. And if I go and click here on this adopted parents, it'll switch the view, and in the tree will show the adoptive parents, and the dashed line here above the connector to his parents mean that these are adoptive parents.
Oh, okay.
So there is some sort of support, but you cannot actually from here. So an example, let's say that his parents who already has, his father who already have parents, it's not possible to add other parents here, you can see.
Yeah.
So in the future, we will add that ability as well.
Wonderful. Okay. You've answered lots of people's questions here, so thank you for that. Is talking about the relationships, Patricia says for her mother, she is listed as her stepmother. Is there a way to reassign relationships, or is it automatically assigned if she thinks that needs to be recalculated?
Right. So stepmother would be something like the wife of your father who is not your mother, right?
Yeah.
So that means that if that's what you wanted to do, because that's the stepmother, then that's basically how you build your tree. If you want to somehow, I think sometimes what happens is that a stepmother adopts the daughter. If that's the case, and that's what they're trying to do here,
yeah.
Then again, because we don't support multiple parents, multiple sets of parents of a person, it's a little difficult to do.
Okay.
But if it's a mistake, and by a mistake you put a person as a stepmother, but really it's a child, a real mother, then it's possible to disconnect this person and reconnect them properly using these options here of remove connection and connect.
Yeah. A couple of folks have asked, can you add an unlinked person that you're not sure how they fit in yet, that's not linked to anybody else in the tree?
No, we don't have that option yet.
Not yet. Okay. I love it when Uri says not yet. That means he's always
I'm
listening.
always thinking this might be a good idea. You know, we don't have that. We have something through photos. If you tag a person in a photo, but you're basically a person who's not yet in the tree.
Okay.
So you can kind of not necessarily will ever be in the tree, and you can tag that person there. So it's kind of an indirect way of doing that.
Okay. Linda is asking, how do you find the home person? So you want to go back to you. How is that done?
Yeah, so let me look at my actual real tree. So we're not looking at this demo tree. So if I'm in the family tree, there is a button here called Home.
Oh, right down there, lower,
at the bottom.
lower right. Okay.
Yeah, next to the plus and minus. And that will always bring you back to yourself. There's also this one, which is full screen, just that we'll go over it. It hides everything above. And you can go back, of course, to this. So it's next to here. But also, if you have traveled in the tree using those branches, you can also see that the first person appears here in these breadcrumbs, what we call. So you can always go back like that as well.
Yeah.
But clicking on the home person should do that. Always bring you back to yourself.
Okay. Is it possible for me to set, like my wife, as the home person so I can see the relationships calculated to her?
Oh, so with the relationships. No, we don't have that. The only way you will do that is through this relationship report where you can set who the person is.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, we don't have that. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Relative relationships.
Right. Okay. You've done a really good job at getting photos for most everybody in your tree. It's beautiful. Yeah, well done.
I wish I had more photos of the important people, like those who are not among us anymore.
Yeah. Okay. We've still got lots of good questions here. Let's see. Annette is wondering what differentiates a discovery from a hint.
Yes, so we don't actually use the word hint anywhere in our product. I think it might be one of our other products, not of MyHeritage, that uses hints. I think Ancestry uses that, maybe Family Search.
Okay.
We use either the word match.
That's right.
And these are icons basically are talking about matches. We have record matches, smart matches, DNA matches. We also have the place where you get to matches is actually called discoveries, which could have been called also matches. We do have something that we call a discovery. A discovery really is kind of a package. We also see them here when we call them discoveries. A discovery is kind of a way that we package matches into like a bigger thing that using matches, we can bring you quickly new information to your tree, whether it be a complete branch or whether it will be a set of photos. For example, we have another thing about discoveries. We have what we call photo discoveries. So I can see that using a match to my tree, I can tell you that, okay, you have two new sisters of mine, which is great. I should have really viewed the discovery and accepted, and now I have photos of people. So it's basically using matches to create something larger. That's what we call a discovery.
Excellent, thank you. Let's go to Bonnie's question. She's asking if you would mind showing us a little more in depth how to attach a picture.
How to attach a picture. Okay, so there's two ways to do that. You know what? I'll just go to to actually do it. I'll go to some
good idea.
Demo tree that is not a real tree, so I'm not really messing up my actual tree.
Yep.
So let's say I have a person here who I don't have a photo of yet. That's why I see just a female silhouette, what do we call? So I can click on Add Photo, and I can click on that silhouette or on this camera. And this is actually something in development where you can see a circle. You probably will see here a rectangle at this point.
Okay.
But let's say I have a photo of this person, Nancy. So I go and select File. I can go here to some photo that I have. Let's say this one. Let's say she's here. It'll bring me this photo. And now I can even kind of set exactly where she is. Let's say it's her. I can move with the panning and with the zooming. I can kind of say exactly where she is and click OK. And hopefully this works. And we can see that, yeah, we see a photo for her.
Yeah, beautiful.
Another way to do it is go to the photos section, and if a person has more photos, I can now go here into photos, find a photo, and then over there, tag more and more people in the photo. Okay. For example, that photo that I just had has more people in it, right?
Yep.
So I can click on this photo, and I can see that she is tagged there, over here. And now I can go and say, tag another person. So I click here, and let's say this person here, and I say, who is this person in the tree? So I can start typing a name. I don't know. This is not a real tree, so let's say it's this person, Mary Louise. So click here, and now I have another person tagged in the photo, and so on. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, very good. A follow-up question here from Stephen is, so you've shown how to add the photo when the photo is already in your photos area. If he has a photo on his computer or on his phone, what process does he use to get it to his photos area?
Right, so we show how this photo was added to the photos area directly from the tree because I focused on a particular person. But if I go to the photos section, there's always this upload photo button.
Okay.
And I click here, and now I can do the same thing, but even had multiple photos. So select file, or drag and drop, And the same thing if you're in the phone, so it'll bring you photos from your camera roll.
Yeah.
Again, just as a quick mention, what we saw here also works on your mobile phone as a web page. And it also, we have an app that you can download either on iOS or Android, which has all this functionality of photos and tree and everything. So you can just download it and have a native app.
Perfect. So a follow-up from Susan. She says, is it right that you can only tag people in the photos that are already listed in the tree?
Yes. So if I have a person that I want to tag that is not yet in the tree, so I have to find them there. If it's somebody that is, I'm not sure we can do that. Let's see. If I type something that is not there is no such person,
okay,
then I can't select them.
Yeah.
So I need to first go to the tree and add them at the right place.
Okay.
And now I can go back here and tag them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. Nancy's wondering, is there a way to sync your Genie tree with your MyHeritage tree? How do they communicate to each other?
Okay, so Genie is a different kind of model. So Genie is another product that is owned by MyHeritage, but there the idea is basically to create a large world family tree. The idea is to just collaborate on a single version of humanity's family tree.
Yeah.
So there isn't such a thing as your tree. It's everybody's tree. The connection that we have with Genie is in two ways. One, if I am looking here at my matches, let's go back to my real tree, is that if I'm looking here at my matches, and I can actually sort the matches by the sources of the matches, from where, not to whom, but from where. So Genie is one of them. So our product constantly looks at my tree and Genie tree and tries to find a correlation. So I have a person here in my tree, and there is a similar person that we think is the same person in Genie. Okay, here is another one. There's Jacob Epstein, and there is another Jacob Epstein here, born in the same year, died in the same year. Therefore, and also the other issues that we think match. Therefore, we suggest that these are the same people. And if you had a photo here, you can bring it over, and you can copy information from here to your tree. So it's really finding connections and allowing you to match them, confirm it, and copy whatever information you want from Genie. So that's one. And in the same way, the opposite happens. If you are in Genie, in the similar interface, and you work in Genie, and we will match your profiles that you're working on Genie to MyHeritage profiles, and you can do the same thing from there. So this is how it's not really synchronization, it's linking, and allowing you to manually confirm those links and copy information from one place to the other.
Okay. It's so fun to have like the guy behind the scenes to be here live with us. Thanks, Uri. Let's ask this question, and then we'll do a couple of door prizes. Donna's wondering, with living people, is there information and their photos, are those private? So can other people see them?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is an important point. So the default privacy model that we have on MyHeritage is that when you build a family tree, deceased people in your tree will become, quote, public, and living people will be private. When I say public, what does it mean? It means that those individuals in your family tree are searchable by other people on MyHeritage. So if you go to the research section and look for records in family trees, they might show up. But living individuals won't. Another thing is through matches. So if I'm looking at the matches that I get, and through those matches, I see children of those people, for example, and they are alive, I won't be able to see information about them because they are sitting in other people's family tree and they are living. So the only thing that you will see about a private individual, which is a living person, is their surname. Nothing else, not their given name, no dates of birth, no photos, nothing at all. And if you want to change the privacy, you can go here to My Privacy, and you can play with this and make it even less public and more private if you want. So I can go to my family tree because I have multiple, and I can say here that, no, don't allow this, don't allow this, don't allow this, if you want to go in even further. So you can make everything private if you want.
Okay, very well thought out. Thank you. Could you just go back to the tree view for just a second? Jan is wondering, is there an easy way to find an individual in this tree? And I'm looking at that find a person right there. Yeah, show us that.
Exactly. So there's always a search. In all the views that we looked at here, there is a search. And let's say I'm looking for Norm, and it gives me all the people starting with Norm. And let's say this is the person I looked for, and boom, I now see them and their family. And it shows me here Norman, and before that it was me. I can go back.
Okay.
So a quick way to search and find and focus quickly on the person you want.
Great.
The same thing happens in Pedigree, Fan View, and List View as well.
Okay. Thanks so much. Let's head over here and do this, and then we'll end up with a question or two. Our next live webinar will be by Mike Mansfield, talking about recent updates to MyHeritage's historical record search engine. So register for that up at the same place that you registered for this. And now let's do a couple of door prizes. We're going to first do a 1-year MyHeritage Complete plan, which gives you everything that you're seeing here today, plus access to, I think there's 14 plus billion historical records now. I need to update that slide. But if you're here, you're eligible to win. Nothing that you need to do special. Just watch for an email from me if I call your name. We're going to say congratulations to Ken Runquist. Ken, glad that you're here today, and hope that was fun to hear your name on the air. And then let's do a MyHeritage DNA test kit as a second door prize. And we'll say congrats to Regina Kukor. Congrats to you. Just writing down your names. All right. See, it pays to attend a live webinar here with Uri and Jeff. Okay, so just a couple of other questions here, Uri. Several people are asking, they have their tree in an offline computer software. Is it possible to transfer into MyHeritage without retyping?
Absolutely. One of the more common ways that people start their tree on MyHeritage by going here to import GenCom. So GenCom is the standard way that all genealogy softwares and websites and services allow you to import and export your tree. GenCom is a file format. You go to that software that you have, you do export to GenCom. It'll create a file or a zip file. And then you can go and here and import it through the family tree. And if you don't even have a family tree at all, then when you create and sign up, you can immediately go and say, you know what, start up with my GenCom. And it'll immediately just import it, process it, display it, also run the consistency checker that we mentioned on it. So immediately we'll tell you all these things are things you should look into.
Thank you. You've mentioned a couple of times that you have multiple trees in here. Is there any reason? What reason would there be for a common user to have more than one tree?
Yes, you can actually have. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You can have multiple sites.
Okay.
So there's two reasons to have multiple sites. One is, for example, Jeff, you are creating a site for your family tree, but I am, for some reason, a member of your family, or let's say I'm a distant cousin, and you want to invite me to your site. So now I am also a member of that site. And now I can go to this tree and see everything unprivatized, which I wouldn't be able to if you haven't invited me.
Okay.
And if you give me access, I can also edit it. I can add people to the tree and edit information and work on my branch. So this allows collaboration inside a site. So that's why I might be managing one site, but as a member who is not managing a different site. So that's one reason for that. But even if I do manage more than one site, which I could do, it could be could be because it's two sections of my family tree. One could be my father's side, one could be my mother's side. Some people like to do that. It could be that I am a genealogist who does work for other people. So I am, researching for other people, and that's kind of my job or my hobby, and I do that. So that's another reason to do that. And it could be that it's just different version of the tree. A lot of people have the older version, and then they did some research and have another, and they import it from another service. And it's kind of a little bit of a mess sometimes, but it allows you this flexibility of, I want to start a new tree that I import from some other place. And one of the ways that you can do that, by the way, is you can import. We just mentioned that with Genie, it's not really possible to just import it from Genie, but from Family Search you can. You can go to Family Search if you're a member there and bring that portion of the public Family Search tree around you into MyHeritage as a new family site. So that's, again, you can have one done through Family Tree Builder, which is a software, and then another attempt to doing it from a JEDCOM file. So you can have kind of multiple things going on.
And how is that initiated from the Family Search site? Is that when you're creating a new site, you get the option then?
Yeah, so you actually start it from, you have to go through Family Search first. So okay. Let's see here. I think I have a link to that. So if you're in Family Search, there is a area in Family Search partner / MyHeritage.
Okay.
And if you go there and you click on this red button, it'll ask you a few things. It'll authenticate you and ask for permission for MyHeritage to bring data about you from the tree. And if you accept all that, it'll start a potentially long process of half an hour maybe or more of bringing, I think it's up to 8 generations above you and several generations of descendants of those people from Family Search into a completely new family site. Here, it'll create a new family site if you already have one. And if you don't, it'll just create that one site with that tree in it. I actually have one like that because I did that, of course. So I have this one. That's not really my tree. It's just some demo that I did there. So it's not real data. So I can see here, if I go to this tree, it also offers me to synchronize the tree all on an ongoing basis. But I can see, for example, this person here that we just saw in a tree. On top of everything here, it also tells me it's this person on Family Search. It's directly linked to Family Search to a particular person. So if I click here, I can see all that information on Family Search about this person. So these trees are really nicely linked and synchronized.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And then I can go and synchronize it, and any changes that I made on MyHeritage will go to Family Search, and any changes that happen on Family Search will be brought over to MyHeritage.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. Alice is wondering, she says, if I have a basic tree and then she's invited to another tree, does their tree add to her number of people and lock her ability to edit her free account?
No, it does not. So because you're not managing that tree,
Okay.
You're not the creator of that tree. We don't punish you with this quota. Absolutely not.
Okay. Good. Well, if we have further questions, and you're not here with us, tell us how we would learn more about any other related questions that might come up. Where would we go to learn more?
So the best place is on to the help section. Here you can see at the top there is a help button.
Okay.
And we have a help center with lots of questions and answers. We have a knowledge base of videos and tutorials. And so let's go here to the help center, for example. There's a lot of content here. So based on what kind of questions you have about your account, subscriptions, like we just heard about DNA, about the family tree, the stuff that we talked about, the research, there's a lot of topics here, or you can type in a question. There is also the knowledge base that we just talked about, which is videos and so on. Contact us. You can contact MyHeritage as well. And there's also a way to hire an expert as well. So there's a lot of resources. Our tech support helps a lot of people all the time. And it's a very busy team, as you can see here.
Absolutely. Well, very good. A couple were asking about the recent DNA webinar, so I'll just pull up this page here for you. I'm going to put that link in your chat, and this is the webinar site, and this is that recent webinar, New Tools for DNA Matches Research, which was wonderful. And if you can see this small graphic right here, you can see that this is something that's coming very soon with DNA matches research. And also over here on the MyHeritage users group, this is a place where you can come and ask a question, and you've got more than 15,000 other members that are eagerly awaiting your question, or you can just browse through or even search the questions here to see if you can get your questions answered. Well, Uri, before we say goodbye and thank you, any final thoughts or parting words? There we go.
Yeah, as I said, and as Jeff mentioned, we're always working on new features, improvements, bug fixes. Never a dull moment in MyHeritage. There's going to be amazing stuff coming ahead because I know I work on their development. And so I'm excited to the next webinar, which will be about new stuff that helps you research your family history.
Wonderful. Thank you, Uri, for taking part of your time to share this with us, and thanks to all of you for sharing part of your day with us. We'll see you next time, and happy family tree searching. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, Uri.
Bye.